Joe, Marcel, I know before the year, him and Ritas, those have been kind of the two since the beginning of the year. Just tell me what you've seen from Marcel, because he's had these real highlight games like CSU. He's had some games where it seems like he's still figuring it out. Just tell me where you see Marcel's progression at.
Well, we were just talking about him in the office. Right now I'm not really that happy with the progression, to your point. To your point, he's had times where, he's played in every game. He's had tons of experience now. He's played in 21 college basketball games. He's played 209 minutes in league play, 22 minutes a game in league play. He's played 358 college basketball minutes. And at this time of the year, that means when, you're playing on January 24th in the pit, or you're playing the game we played before that, I got to see an uptick and a rise in the things that are important to this program. It's like, what is an Air Force basketball player? Well, an Air Force basketball player has certain character traits. They play the game a certain way. And until such time as, you've had that kind of experience, he's had that kind of experience. He's been afforded those opportunities. And in return, we expect at this level to see a higher level. And that doesn't mean scoring points, and it doesn't mean oohs and ahs. What it means is just, this is Mountain West basketball. And I need to see that sort of physicality, that sort of hardness, that sort of toughness, that understanding of what our challenge is. And that's his challenge right now. And we're going to address it, and we'll see, where it goes. But that's sort of, that's what I'm seeing. And when I see those things, and it's true of everybody, then it's going to be addressed, and hopefully we'll get the right response. But no matter what, we're not going to have those things at this juncture in the building of this program. Is we're going to keep developing Air Force basketball players and guys that know what that means in terms of the toughness and the hardness and the physicality and all those character type things.
You had said after the San Jose loss, you had said this practice that we had when we came out here was unlike many things I've seen. What changed, and who kind of stepped up in the following practice to get ready for, that showdown at the pit? I mean, who's really stepped up for you guys when things may have hit a lull before that San Jose State?
Well, that was another part of addressing it, was just sort of, to your question, the leadership question. We're still a really young team. Like I've said before, it's not like you're talking about a team that has, guys on it that won 20 games and know what the hell it means to be on a winning program and where that comes from, and then you have that leadership to hand it down. So that's what all these games are. That's what all these situations present, opportunities to learn and develop that kind of leadership. And obviously it starts with the coach and coaches, just in terms of making sure there's a clarity and a consistency to what it is we expect. Make sure we then say those things, show those things on film, and then go out and do those exact same things. And I know that that's been done. It's been done following the New Mexico game, because as more better, if that's even a word, or as better we were in that game, boy, oh boy, there's still so much more room for improvement in what it means to be an Air Force basketball player and play Air Force basketball. And we're headed in the right direction. And it was evident on Friday. Film yesterday, what we did yesterday is all about, I know, and it's got to get better. Because it's got to get better, because in order to produce the result we want, well, that's the answer. There's the formula, and our guys know it. And again, to your point then, okay, who's going to be the leader? Who are going to be leaders? Who's going to step up in that fashion? And again, it's not, I made this shot, I did that, I made this layup. No, it's who executes, who plays so hard, who's where they're supposed to be, who, as these teams are guarding us a certain way when we're emphasizing how to combat it, is doing their job over and over, because that's why we're doing what we're doing. And I've seen an uptick in our guys, and obviously tomorrow when you go play the number 22 team in the net, okay, as we just played the number 29 team, it's the same. It's the same for us. So it's going to be our growth, and to your point, who's stepping up to lead. Obviously you want to keep seeing, Cam and Carter, can they do it? I think they will. A guy like Ethan, you've played 52, 53 college basketball games, and you've played 35 minutes a game. Guess what? The expectation of you being like that is higher now because of all that experience. And then down the line from there. you know. So hopefully when we go out to play tomorrow, but that's how we got to play again. And if we do, then I'll know, you know, our guys are paying attention, they're listening, and we're developing what you're talking about. We're developing the leadership required here to make sure we keep heading in the right direction.
First, just what are your thoughts heading into y'all's next matchup? You just said the number 22 team. Just what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, for us, it's the same challenge. You know, the thoughts with these guys are they hang their hat on defense. They have a lot of experience, like a lot of teams in this league. So I'm not going to, you know, say the same thing, but they got nothing but guys out there that have played a lot of college basketball games, that have won a lot of games. The majority of them have done it for Boise State, not somebody else. So that's the challenge, as it's a league game on close to February 1st, and it's a huge game, obviously, for them, but every game's a huge game now. So we just came off, you know, a great college basketball game and a great environment. What's what this league is. That's the Mountain West. It's great experience for our guys, and I want to see what we sort of learn from it and what we carry over, and that's going to be the message all throughout the month of February.
I know y'all are pretty far into the season, plenty of Mountain West matchups, but at this point now in the season, is there anything else maybe that you've learned about this group of guys that you have this year?
I mean, what I've learned is, you know, I think what everybody's seen is when we're playing Air Force basketball, when we're doing those things, you know, we have the makings. We have the makings. Where that goes, well, that's what we're going to find out now, you know, and who can battle through these really hard games we're going to play in February, who can keep battling through it to become the types of players individually and collectively that what I've learned is, well, I think I know it when I see it now. Can we do it every game? You know, like I said to the guys after the game on Friday, you know, I'm really angry right now. And tell me why I'm angry after the New Mexico game. And they're still young to not know, you know, like, well, we lost. No, I don't really care. I'm mad about Tuesday. I'm angry about Tuesday. I'm angry about the game, the Monday we gave away the day before. I'm angry about the Tuesday, the day we can't give away days. You just can't do that. You know, if you want to be good, if it's important to you, you know, you can't give away days. And that's obviously mature behavior. That's called experience. We're still developing that way. We gotta really show that we're learning that here, because if I see that throughout February, then I know, you know what? Okay, we got the makings, and we'll keep working and battling and fighting, and we'll be heading in the right direction.
How do you not fight that frustration, though, Coach, because of some of the guys' inexperience?
You know, you ever Cabernet Sauvignon? You know? Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like, obviously, Friday in the pit is one of the more tougher places to play in the country, not just the Mountain West. And then you come back home tomorrow and your comfort's to your own gym. And is there more of a curiosity that you want to see how the guys handle one extreme to the other?
I mean, in some respects, I can't say this, you know, definitively. And, you know, last week we're at San Jose State, so it wasn't true there. You know, we just got to get to become the kind of team, what I just said, where, you know, it's about today. Don't give any days away, you know, because there's a consistency in that, you know, and then you can count on certain things, and you can count on each other, you know, and you can count on, okay, we got to get through this hard time. And, you know, did we do that on Friday? Was it a hard time to your point? Yeah. Okay. Well, we got to do it tomorrow, like you said, when we're in Clune. And okay, it's not going to be like the pit, but I don't care. It's Boise State, and it's a league game, and we got to be that kind of team, and we got to develop that way. You know, it's like I've said, winning's learned behavior. What I'm saying right now, it's learned behavior, and our guys are learning that. And, you know, real maturity means that you learn from your experiences and you put it to use and you put it to work. And we've gotten a lot of that type of experience, and that's going to be, you know, what February's like. And I'm going to work really hard to just make sure that, like I said, that there's clarity to our players and they know what the expectations are, and we do it every day. And I know we're doing a pretty good job of that right now, and I want to see sort of tomorrow, I want to see that from our guys. If I do, then I know we're on the right path.
Because you've been in this situation before, when things do turn, when they figure it out, is it in a game, practice, or do you just sense something, or does it just happen?
I think I think for individuals, that comes at a certain time, like the light bulb goes on for an individual. Like you brought up Marcel. Okay, I get it now. I do it every game. You don't really get, when's that collective light bulb go on? You know what I mean? And that's the ultimate process, because guys come to it at their own paces, you know what I mean? There's a junior and a senior who's been through so many battles. When you have that helps the freshmen grow up quicker that way. So, that whole collective thing of the light bulb going on, that takes longer because it requires sort of a lot of those guys coming to that point in time and helping each other. And then you need certain types of experiences, those games, you know what I mean? Because I think every coach and on any team that's ever been good or turned that corner or whenever that happened, they can only probably point to, all those teams can always point to like that game or that little stretch that occurred. And it's because all those individuals and all those things like came together at that time. And in those two games, man, they won a tough game on the road, and then they followed it up with a home win. And then that group of guys know, okay, this is who we are. So we're still in that process, and we have a lot of guys going through those experiences whereby we need those light bulbs to go on individually first. That's what you look for first as a coach, because then the players then take care of the collective aspect of bringing them, and the situations that they're in sort of produce that form. And, that's ultimately when you have a good team.
I think you guys had the lead with 6 minutes left in the game. Sometimes those are the most gut-wrenching losses. So what has your mental message been this week to the team to keep their confidence high? Because now they're turning around and playing Boise State. I think the best way to keep their confidence high is just to have that consistency from a coaching standpoint. It's like parenting. It's called consistency. Okay, this is what we're going to do today, and here's the reasons why. And then as we do it, we then watch it, and then they see, oh, I know exactly why we did what we did, and I know what coach is saying, what he's saying, and do it in a way that's a positive thing to say, okay, this is what we worked on. Now, look, did we do it? But see that if we had, what would it have produced? And then they can see it for themselves. And then to the last question, that's where different individuals come to it and the light bulb goes on at different times, because certain guys just sit there and look at that, and after 52 games go, like I said to them, who's going to have the good anger that I have towards what I see? Like, oh man, when are you guys going to really just be so angry like I am right now in a good way to change this? And is it the guy that's played 52 games? Is it the guy that just happens to be 23 years old and he's got 10 games left in his career? Who knows? But that's all you're looking for, is for the right response. And in these situations, like I said, use yesterday to help you make sure you don't give today away. You know what I mean? Like last week, I said this to him, last week, that's last week. I don't care about last week, but I remember last week. And I remember the things that last week's telling me that we got to do today. Don't get stuck on that. Just use those experiences to help fuel you moving forward. And again, there's a maturity with that, but I think my team is getting a little bit more mature right now. And that's really, we'll see the full extent of that maturity throughout this whole month. It seems like Jake is one of those guys that plays with anger. Is that right?
Well, there's no question that for someone who looks like a choir boy, he plays with a certain chip and a certain confidence and a certain sort of. Now, that being said, it's not an excuse for Jake. It's just an unfortunate thing. I've said it over and over. We have not, and he has not come along as fast because he doesn't practice, because of his thing. He rides the bike. He gets in for practice for 10 minutes or whatever it is, and it's just been sort of it's nothing you can do about it. I'm glad he's able to play, but it's sort of been a disservice to what you're talking about, that I know that if he practiced every day and was 100% in that, the muscle memory developed of cutting every day and cutting so hard and then playing in all the games he's played in, there's a compounding interest there. And we're not really getting that we're almost like stuck with we were in the mortgage rates for the last, I wish everybody knows they would come back when you're getting like 0.1% interest. You know what I mean? There's no compounding interest there, you know, and he's sort of stuck with that right now because he's not practicing that way. And hopefully, you know, something else fuels that. You know what I mean? Hopefully watching the film, we're trying to find other ways to develop what you're talking about, even though he's not practicing. And that's why it's important that other guys develop that. You know, that's why it's important Jeff Mills just becomes this kind of player, because then that helps Jake, you know, and then we're getting what it is we're looking for from a more collective standpoint. But we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully he sort of, you know, I mean, obviously he's not shooting. We're working to get him to play to his highest level, because I think there's a higher level there for him, and we're going to work on that, you know, for the rest of the season.
I just want to get your thoughts on the future of roster makeup, because obviously you guys are playing a ton of freshmen. You just have to look at the Mountain West Awards to see that, but everybody else still has these fourth and fifth year guys and transfers. Once that flushes out, what are the other teams going to be left with? Are they stockpiling young players that are going to be unleashed? Or are they going to keep replenishing? Or do you guys find a sweet spot then because you've invested all of this?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I keep asking my staff, when is that time? Because the time is coming to an end of the COVID year and whatever this is. And, you know, it might be another 2 years. I'm not sure. You know, I don't know if it ends next year or the year after that. But to your point, when that time comes, there are no more super seniors. There are no more asterisks on these guys, SIDs, things like, what's that asterisk mean? You know, a super season. I'm like, what the hell is a super season? And there's 5 of them on there. You know what I mean? So now, and then you look at your roster, and I don't see this freshman, you know. So again, that points to me that I think what will occur is a continued, obviously, just go try to get older guys, you know. But those older guys won't have all these extra years, you know, to play. They'll just have whatever they have left, you know. And if that just 1 year or 2 years, and I don't know at that juncture, will they go back to recruiting high school kids? You know, I that'll be an interesting thing. But like I said, I know for us, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, you know, because that's what we have to do. And hopefully, like I've said, we just keep getting older and older. And when the time comes that we get older, we'll still have freshmen coming in behind them, those freshmen and sophomores. So that's ultimately what our game plan is. And to your point, I think hopefully it lines up with advantage us at that juncture a little bit, instead of you know, where we're at right now in the cycle, you know. But it definitely is a cycle that's going to play itself out here at some point in the near future.
Has there been an uptick in the talent of the recruits you're able to even talk to, just because the other teams don't have the scholarships to offer?
Well, I think, like I've said to my staff, I mean, I told the administration, I think all of what we're talking about is important right now, because high school kids, by and large, aren't getting recruited as much, which means there's a little better player out there that's not getting quote-unquote scholarship offers. Now, does that mean that kid's going to be interested in the Air Force? I don't know, but what I know is that we play basketball in the Mountain West, and we have a really good offer unbelievable education here. I don't know where you can top that somewhere else. So if you're a good basketball player and you're not getting recruited to the level that you should be, well, I'd think you'd be interested in playing for a Mountain West team. You know, in the Mountain West at the pit in front of 16,000, playing a top 25 team and playing in a league that might get 4 or 5 bids. So we have to somehow figure out a way to take advantage of it, but we just sort of do what we always do, and hopefully somewhere in there we get a little benefit, you know, and we'll keep doing it, and we'll see how it plays out.